Hello there, hi, second grade. I'm super happy that you are here today and I hope that you are ready because today we're going to start by doing a review about the activities that we did yesterday. If you remember, yesterday we did 3 pages from the workbook because we need to keep going and hurry up. So we started by doing a fast review about the hours, and remember that it's really easy. You just need to remember the numbers from 1 to 12, and you just need to add 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, etc., etc. And we reviewed this, and also I show you how to make a sentence using the time and also the daily activities vocabulary. Okay, so and that was it. And we also did, like I told you, 3 pages, and we did 54, 55, and 56. If you have any questions about any activities of this, and you need to tell me, because if you don't tell me, well, I can know that you need my help. So yes. So now let's go to what we are going to do today. We are going to review about the present simple questions with when. Okay, when means cuando, as you remember. So we are going to start with this. Remember that we start our questions with the WH question, that it's, where is it? When. Okay, when. We always start these questions using when because we want to know the time, we want to know the hour, so we start with when. Next to it, we choose between do or does depending on the personal pronoun or the subject. Remember that if you are using I, you, we, and they, you might use do, okay? But if you are using he, she, or it, you need to use does, okay? That's it. So you're going to write when, do or does. Vamos a escoger solo uno, no puedes usar do and does, okay? And then the personal pronoun, that can be any of these. And next to it, the verb or the vocabulary of the daily activities. When do you get up? When do they get up? When does he get up? When does she brush her teeth? When do you eat dinner? Okay? And don't forget the most important thing, that is the question mark. In English, we only use one question mark at the end, never at the beginning, okay? So that's it. Also, how do we answer to this kind of questions? We answer this by, for example, when does she get up? We have when, does, personal pronoun she, and the vocabulary get up, levantarse. She gets up at 7 o'clock. We need to start with the personal pronoun and the vocabulary. Recuerda que te había dicho that we need to add an S when you are using a third person. In this case, is she. He, she, or it, you need to add an S. Or, en un momento lo voy a explicar, okay? She gets up at 7 o'clock. That's it, okay? When does he go to work? He goes to work at 8 o'clock, okay? In this case, we also have he, so for that reason, we added ES. Sometimes we add an S, sometimes we add ES. Later, we are going to see this. To work at 8 o'clock. When do you eat breakfast? I eat breakfast at 10 o'clock. If you can see, here I didn't add an S. Aquí no agregué S. When do you brush your teeth? I brush my teeth at 9 o'clock. And that's it. So, let's check when we are going to use an S, when we are going to add ES, okay? So, rules for the third person. He, she, it, okay? So, remember, when I tell you third person, the only third persons that exist are he, she, it. Son terceras personas. Solo son he, she, it, okay? So, in general, Normally, we usually add an S. That's the main rule. La principal regla o la regla general es que siempre le vamos a añadir al verbo una S. ¿Ok? Luego existen excepciones, pero la regla general es añadirle S. Work, works. Eat, eat. Eat, eats. Play, plays. Swim, swims. Write, writes. ¿Ok? So, meanwhile, I work, she works. Yo puedo decir I work, pero cuando quiero decir she, tengo que usar she works. No puedo decir she work porque está mal. Tenemos que añadirle S. I eat, she eats. I play, she plays. I swim, she swims. I write, she writes. Okay, very good. Okay, but what happens if the verb ends with Y? ¿Qué pasa si el verbo termina con esta letra que se llama Y? We drop the Y and we change it into I-E-S. La quitamos y la cambiamos por ES. I-E-S, okay? I-E-S. Study, I study, she studies. I cry, he cries. I try, he tries. I spy, he spies. I fly, he flies, okay? So, it's really simple. You just need to check, oh, this verb ends with Y. I drop the Y, la quito y la cambio por I-E-S, okay? And that's it. So, the next rule, if it is when the verb ends with O, SH, TCH, X or double S. We are going to add, in these cases, an ES. Okay? For example, I go, she goes. I wash, she washes. I watch, she watches. I mix, she mixes. I kiss, she kisses. Okay? So that's it. If you want to copy this in your notebooks, it's fine. If you don't want to, it's fine too, but you just need to remember this, and later don't tell me that I didn't explain this. So, and remember that these are the main rules. In general, you need to add an S. When the verb ends with Y, you need to add IES. Or when the verb ends with O, SH, TCH, X, or double S, you add ES, okay? It's not like, I need to remember this, O, SH, TCH. No es como decir, teacher, no me voy a acordar, es muchísimo. It's in the practice where you are going to be learning this. Vamos a aprender esto en práctica. So don't worry about it. Don't get stressed about it. We are going to be practicing with a lot of verbs. We are going to practice with the main verbs. Like, for example, in these cases, we are not going to see cry or try. We are going to use this just an example, okay? Just as an example. So, and the general rules, you need to remember, add an S, or if it ends with O, SH, TCH, X, and double S, you're going to add ES, okay? Y ahora lo vamos a empezar a practicar. Don't worry about this. It's just practice. Con la práctica lo vamos a aprender. Okay? So, workbook pages 57 and 58. We have 2 pages for today. And one of these activities, it's an audio. Activity 6 says, listen and write. Number 1, I get up at 7. Number 2, I start school. And number 3, finish school. Number 4, go out. Number 5, watch TV. Number 6, go to bed. Okay, so you are going to write the times when you hear, okay? So let's complete this with what we listen to.
Book, page 57. Activity 6. Listen and write.
Aunt Margaret, when do you get up?
I get up at 7 o'clock. When do you get up?
I get up at 7 o'clock too.
Oh, when do you start school?
Number 2.
I start school at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
And when do you finish school?
I finish school at 3 o'clock.
3
And then I
o'clock.
go out and play with my friends.
Oh, and what time do you go out?
I go out at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Do you watch TV?
Oh, yes! I watch TV at 5 o'clock.
5
When
o'clock.
do you go to bed?
I go to bed at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay, in these cases you could write the hours with numbers. En este caso podríamos usar números para escribir la hora porque no tenemos suficiente espacio para escribirlo con letra. So if you finish this, you can go to the next activity. Activity 7 says, look at 6, write. When do you get up? Get up at 7 o'clock. Okay, so you are going to answer. Number 2, when do you start school? I start school at, y vamos a escribir la hora. Aquí sí lo vamos a intentar poner con letra, vamos a hacerlo pequeñito para que nos entre. Y si no, pues vamos a hacerlo más pequeñito. Number 3, when do you finish school? I finish school at... So number 4, when do you go out? When do you watch TV? And you're going to write, I eat dinner at, and you're going to answer. This is like confused because it doesn't have anything to do with number 5. Number 6 says, when do you go to bed? I go to bed at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, etc. Okay? So the grammar activities on page 58. Remember that always you need to pay attention to the grammar that you have in the boxes in here. When does he or she get up? He or she gets up at 6 o'clock. When do you or they go to bed? I or they go to bed at 8 o'clock. When does the movie start? It starts at 7, okay? 7 o'clock. Okay, so activity 8 says, read and circle, then draw and write the time. Okay, so for example, it says number 1, it's already answered because it's an example. When do or does she play soccer? Of course, they circle does because our personal pronoun is she. When does she play soccer? She plays soccer at 4 o'clock. Remember that with the third person you need to add an S. Recuerda que con una tercera persona tenemos que añadir S, okay? So it says 4 o'clock and you are going to draw it in the clock and write the hours in numbers, okay? Okay, so number 2, when do or does he watch TV? He watch or he watches TV at 5 o'clock. Okay, you are going to draw it in the clock and write it in here. And that's the same that you are going to do with 3, 4, and 5. And that's it, kids. Don't forget that tomorrow we are going to have the Zoom meeting. Tomorrow we have an important and an interesting visitor. So try to be on time. Try to pay attention. Be nice with the visitor. And I'll see you there. Don't forget to send these activities with your name and also today's date. And I'll see you the next time. I'll see you tomorrow and I'll see you on Friday in the video. And goodbye, kids. Bye.